How much money do you think a man needs to make to be happy?
To be significantly happy, 8 figures plus.
What? You need $10 million to be happy? He's trolling, right? No way a real person said this unironically.
I'm not there quite yet, but once you start making at least 7 figures, you will see like your life starts to change. You have the freedom to go wherever you want, pay your parents' bills, them have an enjoyable life and still do whatever you want to do. But I think you're going to experience true financial freedom once you start to make at least $10 million a year or not.
For one, if you aren't there, how do you know? 2, how irresponsible are you with money? Like, I'm sure I can give myself and my parents a very nice lifestyle for the bargain price of $200,000 a year, and I'm sure that most people could figure out how to do it on much less than that. Anyway, after making multiple videos criticizing Fresh and Fit for doing things like illegally copyright striking channels that criticize them, or Rollo Tomassi, who will make up random gossip about people that he hates, which is called slander, by the way, a viewer of a video of mine got very mad, saying that I was only showing the clowns of the manosphere and ignoring all the real red pill channels who are truly helping men. So I asked him to give me an example of a red pill channel that's good, and he recommended Fit X Fearless, or Bismarck, who I guess decided to upload his Grindr profile pic to YouTube. And I have to say that it only took about 10 seconds before I found him giving very toxic advice.
How many hours a week do I need to work to be considered a man?
Minimum 80 hours. If you're working less than 80 hours and you call yourself a man, you're joking.
So I'm going to be significantly happy with my $10 million a year, but I won't be able to travel anywhere I want to go, and I won't be able to do what I want with my money because I have to work like 12 hours a day every day to hit 80 hours a week, and I'll develop severe mental health problems from overworking. But I'm not sure who these videos are for because people in the comment section of this video, as well as the video about making $10 million a year, are all making fun of him. I mean, there are so many ridiculous takes from this guy that it's hard to put them all in one video. Though, more importantly, the real problem here is the same issue that I talk about when I criticize Fresh and Fit. I think this type of content is just as toxic to the dating pool as TikTok influencers who talk about being a high-standards princess treatment girly. This is just the version of it that appeals to men, and the problem with these types of content is that it's making men and women who already had problems with dating even more undateable and more incapable of developing successful long-term relationships. Then on top of that, we have guys like Bismarck who are out there trying to make men feel insecure about not making $100K a year, just like those Instagram girls do.
$100,000 a year, you're broke. You're still suffering, my G. You're living paycheck to paycheck. Inflation is through the roof. The cost of living is through the roof. If you're living in a major city where rent is $2,000, $3,000 a month plus for a 1-bedroom apartment, $100K a year is not that much money.
$3K a month for an apartment? Geez, in Texas that will get you a very nice house. And it's like that in most places. Maybe don't be dumb and live in a place where a 1-bedroom apartment costs $3,000 a month. As in, maybe practice good spending habits and stop blowing money on dumb luxury items so that you can pretend to be rich. I swear this guy makes Hassan Piker sound smart. But honestly, this guy's level of financially shaming his viewers for not being millionaires is so bad that I would rather just listen to the entitled Instagram women. Those girls are cheap by comparison. And this is not just like a one-off thing. He says this stuff in multiple videos.
If you're working less than 80 hours and you call yourself a man, you're joking. And these are the same guys that will complain that making $50K a month is unrealistic. You're not putting that much effort. Of course you're never gonna make $50K a month. Of course that number is so crazy to you. High achieving men understand that what is possible. If $50K a month or $100K a month seems so impossible, this is because you're limited mentally. Poor is a mindset.
So $100K a year means I'm broke. I need to make $10 million a year to be significantly happy, and now I'm a loser if I'm not making $50,000 a month. Okay, Bismarck, tell me how I'm gonna make that kind of money. What kind of business model does an abundance mindset create?
If you're a guy that wants to know all the supplements that I take to have great erection quality, grow my size, last long, I have a whole list of supplements, man.
That's your financial plan? Selling your audience penis enlargement pills, which is one of the oldest scams known to man? But maybe you could show some randomized drug trials as evidence that the drugs you sell work, or maybe even list the name of it so people can do their own research or ask their doctor to make sure it's safe. No?
You don't need dick-enhancing pills or whatever else. So back when I was doing urology, and I worked with some things like vaginismus and stuff like that, the majority of the female nerve endings are at the front end of the vagina. And if you get all the way back to the cervix, that's like painful. So you don't actually need a gigantic penis.
Also, if you have erectile dysfunction, then go to the doctor or go see a therapist. Don't consult some supplement shill that you found on Instagram. Either you have heart disease that needs to be addressed, psychological issues that need to be talked about with a professional, or your brain has been ruined by too much pornography exposure and you need to get used to being with an actual person. Now, before that guy in the comments section writes, "But hey man, you used to make content in the manosphere." Correct, I did, but I dropped that label years ago because of people like Bismarck, and when I did that content, it was more like, hey, this woman has really high standards, maybe she should get more realistic. What I did not do was say things like, it's okay to cheat on your wife if you make enough money, which is an idea that Fresh and Fit regularly repeat. I also never promoted the same sexual degeneracy as feminism, like the red pill space loves to do.
How many women do I need to sleep with to settle down?
It can be as little as one or as many as hundreds. It's up to you as a man. You got to decide what you want in a woman, however long that takes you.
Hundreds? Literal porn-brained advice. Any guy who has to sleep with hundreds of women or even 50 women to be ready to settle down is not fit for a long-term relationship. That's if he can get those women, by the way. Though I'm genuinely surprised that he said one, because if you watch his content, he is constantly saying stuff that encourages men to date multiple girls and have many sexual partners. Clearly, his own bias is more towards being a sexual degenerate. Well, as I said, if he can actually get those girls. More importantly, if the goal is to settle down, then how are you learning how to foster a good relationship when you're busy sleeping around and discarding the chick anytime something goes wrong? Now, this is not to say that all of Bismarck's relationship takes are bad. There is a reason why people watch him, and I did find him saying a couple of decent things.
Bro, let's go to the strip club. I'll pay for the girls for both of us.
Bro, I know you have money, but leading with money will never make you fulfilled as a man. The girl who adds to your life, the girl who really wants to be a part of your life, you show her the world. You enjoy those experiences with her. But blowing it on strippers, blowing it on girls who don't even like you, is pretty pathetic, bro.
I mean, I don't know how many people he knows who are burning money on strippers. I'm not sure if I've ever even known someone personally who's gone to a strip club. Again, his angle is kind of porn-brained. But from a relationship perspective, leading with money is the surest way to meet a gold digger or someone who doesn't like your personality and is not physically attracted to you. They just want your money. And if they aren't physically attracted to you and they don't like your personality, it's not going to be a very fun relationship. Last, outside of telling men to wear high heels,
if you're under 6 feet, guys, you want to wear high-sole shoes. Guys are going to make you appear more taller, which will make you more confident. Even if you are a tall guy, these will make you even taller. So I recommend all men wear high-sole shoes, regardless of how tall you are.
So outside of Bismarck telling men to wear high heels, his looks maxing advice appears to be pretty decent.
I used to have a buzz. Is it buzz better or should I grow it out?
Hell no, don't do a buzz cut. Buzz cut looks stupid. Stop doing a buzz cut. This hair you have on top, let it be all around your hair. Let the hair be like this, full and even on all sides, so your thirds don't look so long. It will make your face look a lot better.
Correct. This guy's haircut looks weird. You need a haircut that fits your facial proportions, and very few guys seem to get that right. Last, I appreciate that Bismarck tells people to go to the gym. Speaking of looks maxing, this video is sponsored by Manscaped. One of my favorite things that's happening these days is that we now have brands like Manscaped that are promoting the idea that it's cool for men to take care of their appearance. Let's be honest, I've watched a lot of these FitX Fearless interviews, and pretty much every guy I've seen who says he can't get women is not taking care of himself. Having the tools to take care of your looks is important, and today I want to talk about Manscaped's Chairman Pro Electric Foil Shaver. What makes the Chairman Pro stand out? Well, it features a 360-degree contouring head and comes with 2 interchangeable skin-safe blade heads. These are the skin-safe 4-blade foil for a super close shave, and the skin-safe stubble trimmer for when you want to keep a little bit of scruff. Now, the Chairman Pro isn't just for daily shaves. It's powerful enough to tackle up to 5 days of growth, which makes it perfect for when you're shaving daily or just tidying up after a few days. There's also a screen that shows the battery level so that you always know when it's time to recharge. Not to mention that it comes with an LED spotlight to help you see every detail, ensuring that nothing gets missed. So if you want to check out the Chairman Pro, you can go to manscaped.com by clicking on the first link in the description. Use promo code TBYS for 20% off your order, plus free shipping. That's 20% off plus free international shipping with promo code TBYS at manscaped.com. All right, there's one more topic on looks maxing that I wanted to cover because I've noticed that a lot of the men on Bismarck's channel who are saying that they have trouble getting women are balding. So I will say that if you're a guy and you start noticing hair loss, go see your dermatologist immediately and get on some medical therapy like oral finasteride and topical minoxidil. Hair loss prevention technology is very good provided that you still have hair, but if you wait too long to treat it, you're screwed. Moving on, it seems like the biggest focus of Bismarck's content more recently are these one-on-one interviews with men where he gives them life advice, sort of like what Kevin Samuels did, but he is way less good at it. Now, first off, we have to address the elephant in the room, which is that for some reason, Bismarck's signature move is to have men take their shirts off so he can see their physique.
Let's see the physique first.
I got you. Got it.
Man's got a 15 pack. Bro, you ripped as hell.
Yeah, he's not helping the manosphere beat the gay allegations with this one. Now, it would be one thing if he was like giving bodybuilding advice by saying, hey, your lats look a little weak, maybe you should work on those more. If he did that, this would all make sense. But in every video I've watched, the advice he gives doesn't actually require him to see what they look like with their shirts off. All he says is go to the gym or lose weight. You don't need to see somebody with their shirt off to tell them that. Outside of that, upon watching these videos, it becomes very apparent that Bismarck knows very little about human psychology or about how to convince people to actually solve their problems, which is embarrassing because he sells a coaching program where he charges people for this advice. Anyway, this is James.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
Okay, what can I help you with, man?
I'm pretty down bad, bro. I dropped like 10K at the strip club a couple months ago, bro. Like I haven't had sex since like high school type shit.
So you smashed some strippers for 10K?
Well, I used to do that, but no, I just like one chick, bro. I just like she like look how
hold up, James. You used to give girls money to fuck.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 years ago when I was living in Cali.
Okay, wow, this guy's a massive addict. Like I said, I don't think I've ever known anyone personally who has ever been to a strip club, nor have I ever had any interest in going to one, so I don't know what their prices are, but I can imagine that 10 grand on strippers and extra special treatment has to be insane. It is crazy drug addict behavior for a guy his age to drop that kind of money on a girl. How did a 23-year-old even get that much money anyway?
How are you doing that?
Bro, there's always money when you're a gambler, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so he's a gambling addict as well as a guy who pays prostitutes. I'm wondering what the psychology behind that is, so of course the next logical move is for Bismarck to ask James to take his shirt off.
Let's see the physique, bro.
Oh, shit, bro. All right, bro. This is what I'm working with right now.
All right. You got it. I don't know what that is. I don't even know what to describe it. It's there. It's just a body that's there, right? It ain't much is going on.
Does Bismarck actually give any advice that required James to take his shirt off? No, he just says go to the gym.
Why don't you start going to the gym consistently? Let's start there. The gym will save your life, bro. Sign up for the damn gym tomorrow. The nearest one to you. Upper, lower. You gonna be in that motherfucker 4 days a week.
For sure.
4 days a week? For how long each day? He's not going to do that much work. He has no discipline. You said so yourself.
Jesus Christ.
But I don't know.
I don't go to the gym fit. I don't go to the gym. I live with my aunt. I pay for booty. I spend 10K on a stripper. So what exactly is good with your life right now?
I mean, fuck. Not shit really, bro. Like,
so obviously this guy's kind of aimless and undisciplined. And when you're dealing with people like that, you need to make any change incredibly easy or they won't do it. First off, he looks very weak. And when you're very weak, everything makes you stronger. The good thing is that it's very easy to get strength as a beginner who hasn't lifted before.
Okay, so these are 20-pound dumbbells. Give me the starting position and the end position that I could get to just with these dumbbells at home.
If you properly control your diet and you haven't really lifted weights before, and you're, let's say, 30, 40, 50 years old, in a 6-month time span, we can reliably get you to gain 5 to 10 pounds of muscle, and we can reliably get you to lose, 5 to 7.5 kilos of fat in a 6-month time frame, just by being intelligent about your diet and doing 2 workouts per week at home with your dumbbells, and the workouts each take roughly 20 minutes.
So that's 40 minutes a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's not joking. 2 days a week with proper diet and sleep, and you're gaining lots of muscle as a weak guy. Of course, that will diminish as you get stronger and you'll have to work out more, but the whole 6 days a week at the gym for 3 hours a day or whatever crazy shit that you see people doing on YouTube is only necessary when you're closing in on your genetic limit and you're doing stuff like bodybuilding competitions. That stuff is for advanced lifters. All of you average lifters and normies don't need to do that much work. and crazy amounts of muscle isn't attractive to women anyway. To max out your attractiveness to most women, you need to lose weight, get lean, and put on a little bit of muscle. You want to keep your gym activity as basic as you can because it makes it more likely that you'll stay consistent. Next, we find out that James's problems are even worse.
Do you drink?
I do.
How often do you drink?
Like, well, every day, pretty much.
There needs to be more questioning here, but considering that he went on to say that he drinks every day after work, what is likely happening is that he's using alcohol to regulate his emotions. So, of course, what you would expect Bismarck to do is maybe ask some further questions about why James thinks he needs to drink every day, or how he might emotionally regulate in healthier ways, right? Nope. Bismarck gives advice that's basically equivalent to saying, "You're depressed? Have you tried not being depressed?"
The first order of business, we got a lot of orders of business. The first order of business is you need to stop gambling. Gambling is an addiction.
No shit. Duh. He knows that. Most people know what they should or should not be doing. That's not the problem, and telling a gambling addict to stop gambling doesn't work.
But I'd love to just share a story. So when I was a medical student, didn't really understand much about medicine or psychiatry or humans. I had a patient who came in and was smoking. And so I came in and I was like, he came in and I was like a first-year medical student. So I was like, I'm going to be a doctor one day. And so this person comes in and I'm like, sir, do you know that smoking is dangerous? It can cause lung cancer. It can do this. It can do this. It can do this. So the person's like, yeah, that sounds bad. I don't want lung cancer. And I was like, great. We're going to give you like a prescription to help you quit and you can get a nicotine patch. And I was like, I'm going to be a doctor one day. Yeah. So a month later, guy comes in and I ask him, how's the quitting smoking going? And he's like, well, I'm still smoking.
To actually change your behavior, for one, the outcome of your change needs to be something desirable that you care about. You also need to try and discover what the reason for your addiction is, and day by day, progressively make small lifestyle changes that prevent the triggers for bad behaviors and promote the good behaviors that you're trying to move towards. Check out a book called Atomic Habits. It will help with that a lot. Oddly enough, and actually the only good advice that Bismarck gives, relates to the caller's porn use. The caller says he uses porn 5 times a week, and Bismarck says this to help him stop.
Listen, the way you stop this is you need to create consequences for watching porn. Make it so hard for yourself to watch porn. Remove the triggers that force you to watch porn. Right? The booty shaking videos gotta go.
For sure.
The following Instagram models gotta go. The sites on your phone, block them.
Now, I will say that it was wild to hear Bismarck speak out against pornography, because I would never have guessed that he was anti-porn based on the things that he says and does. But I do agree with the advice of desexualizing your environment. However, like I said, I never would have guessed that Bismarck is anti-porn, because despite giving this advice, Bismarck uses thirst trapping all the time as clickbait. Like, all the time. Look at these thumbnails. I'm not even sure if I can show them without being penalized by YouTube, so I wonder if he gets demonetized a lot. Or you can look at this video here where he asks women about how long they want a man to last in bed, where he puts this girl in the thumbnail who is wearing such skimpy clothing that they had to censor her as she walked away. The best part of this is that she didn't even answer the question.
My question is, how long do guys usually last in the bed with you?
They don't last.
What do you mean by that?
They don't last.
You said what's the average amount of time? Okay, you know what? What's the fastest a guy ever came?
I'm not doing all this.
No?
You not paying me.
I mean, this is the kind of interview where if you were doing cold approaches for content, you would throw it out because she didn't do anything interesting except for the thirst trapping. And seriously, man, you can see that she's pushing a stroller. Why are you approaching a woman to talk about sex in front of a child? So not only does Bismarck thirst trap constantly, but you can see here that in one of his most popular videos, he talks about why you should stop watching porn, and in that video, he thirst traps guys with this B-roll footage that I had to censor. And it's not the only anti-porn video that he does that in. So it's hard for me to believe that he's actually against pornography, considering the thirst trapping, the Coomer advice where he encourages men to sleep with lots of women, and the fact that he looks like he gets his sales ideas from the ads that they show on porn websites, with the whole penis enlargement thing, or the how to last 30+ minutes in bed, despite most women either not caring about these things or not liking them because being bigger than average or lasting a crazy amount of time in bed is painful for most women. Here are women in his comment section saying that. Not only that, but I found a study recommended by a doctor who is a specialist in this field from that podcast with Dr. K that I showed earlier. She showed this study here, which tested out a handful of the enlargement methods, and none of them worked outside of surgery, and the surgeries can have some pretty severe complications. I think it's highly immoral for Bismarck to prey on people's insecurities about something that they can't change, to sell them a product that doesn't work and could possibly harm them. Anyway, that's it for the caller James. Personally, I would recommend that he shop around and find a therapist who specializes in addiction, and or he joins something like Alcoholics Anonymous and gets a sponsor. The next call that Bismarck does is actually the first call that I ever saw from him. This is 22-year-old Cody, whose girlfriend of 4 years wanted to take a break.
All right, so I'm just looking for like basically relationship advice after like something happened to me. Essentially, I was with the same girl all throughout college, like since freshman year. And just, I guess like this is not really relevant, but we never like did anything. We were just like close in general, like relationship wise. But
what does that? Hold up. We never did anything. What does that mean?
Like I'm still a virgin. Like I guess we never like had sex.
Is that on purpose?
Well, I brought it up like once or twice, and she was just not really like for the idea, so I never wanted to like bug her with it.
Okay, that's bad. 4 years in a relationship with no sex. Why did he stay if that was important to him? And how do you ask twice and not ever try again in 4 years?
So, but right now we're taking a break because she doesn't think that I can provide financially, like moving forward out of college.
You were with a girl for this long, and she's making you wait for 4 years, and now she's telling you that she don't think you can provide.
Yeah, which I mean, I think like now I can provide a little bit more.
You should not. You provide for what? A girl who haven't given you no ass in 4 years?
I know, but I really like, I love her, you know.
You know you don't. No, you don't. You don't love a goddamn thing. She's the only girl who gave you attention.
I think what Bismarck says here at the end is gross and more evidence that he's not capable of a long-term relationship. I have no reason to believe that Cody's feelings weren't genuine, and calling him a desperate loser is not helping. However, it is clear that this relationship is over and he is coping, as in he needs to let this one go. Though I wonder what their serious conversations were like, because with just this information, it's hard for me to believe that they actually talked about anything important, which is why the relationship dragged on for so long. He's not getting what he wants and he failed to communicate that. She clearly didn't get what she wanted because she broke up with him, but in a way where she couldn't just flat out say, this is a breakup. She just kind of made up some excuse, and now he's tricking himself into thinking that the relationship is still there when it's obviously over. So both of them sound like bad communicators, and it sounds like Cody spent the whole relationship lying about what he wants.
Well, I never really thought about like sex too much. It wasn't like a priority.
Yeah, that's a lie. You began the call with, we never had sex, so obviously that was a priority for you. You were just too afraid to talk about it. Now, considering that he says he's anti-pornography, I'm surprised that Bismarck never brought porn up, because how else do you only mention the topic of sex twice in a 4-year relationship if you aren't getting your needs met somewhere else? If that's the case, then Cody should probably think about the effect that porn is having on him.
It seemed like a normal relationship to me.
A normal relationship where you're not having sex with your girlfriend? That's not a normal relationship, bro.
I mean, we would like kiss and stuff, but I guess we just never like.
Cody, yeah. Is she a virgin?
I've asked, but anytime I talk about it, it's like a touchy subject for her. So I don't know.
My God. Oh, hell.
I think she is.
Considering that she didn't flat out say that she was when you asked and she tried to pull you off the subject, she's probably not a virgin. Which begs the question, what did she get out of this relationship? He's not giving her money, they aren't having sex, their connection was obviously bad because they broke up. Honestly, I'd like to hear what she had to say about the relationship, because the 4 years doesn't make sense unless she had no other options. But assuming she did, and if I was going to steelman her position because it would help Cody self-reflect, maybe she was waiting for him to become more assertive and he just never did. Basically, every guy I've heard on Bismarck's show who says he has trouble getting women is not assertive. As in, they can't tell people what they want or stand up for themselves. Or maybe he had big dreams and after he graduated college, he gave up on them, and that was the final straw for her, which would also stem from a lack of assertiveness. But I guess questions like this were not important because Bismarck is too busy making fun of Cody and talking about how many other guys his ex is having sex with.
This is highway robbery. Boy, what in the world? This is grade A finessing right here. She need to come on the stream. Hey, she need to come teach us how the fuck did she finesse your ass for 4 years to not give you no booty.
Well, right now we're kind of talking casually. I kind of
letting somebody else hit, Cody. Somebody else is in them guts. Somebody else is smashing. Just like somebody else.
Sure.
But. Yeah, we don't. Just like we don't know that if she was smashing somebody else before you. Yeah. Yeah. La La Land. You're living in a Disney movie. You're living in a fairy tale, bro. She played you.
I don't get how this is grade A finessing since he was broke and she burned 4 years of her life on this relationship. Honestly, I think it's far more probable that she stayed because she had no other options. And you can see Cody getting mad during the interview, as this is the second or third time that Bismarck has put the imagery of this guy's ex banging other dudes in his head, and he does it like 5 times during the video. So, hey moron, if your callers are mad at you, then they aren't going to listen. Now, it's one thing to laugh at and bully a good friend that you know well when they've gone through some hardships, especially if their own bad decisions led to those hardships. It kind of depends on the context. However, if a friend of mine just got broken up with after a 4-year relationship, I'm not going to laugh at him and tell him about how many dudes are banging his ex instead of him. That is so messed up, and it makes me think that Bismarck doesn't give a shit about his viewers, which is why he'll scam them with bullshit like penis enlargement pills. Like he is 10 seconds away from running a crypto scam. Cody is blatantly telling him what the problem is, and Bismarck is either not paying attention or he's too incompetent to actually help.
You let a girl basically finesse you for 4 years. You got nothing out of it, and then she left you for some shit that she doesn't even have.
Yes, but I'm still attached to her.
You're not attached to her. You know you're not. Bullshit.
Okay, this is the second time that Bismarck has invalidated how Cody feels and fails to listen to the reason for why he called. Not to mention that Bismarck gives terrible advice when it comes to long-term relationships. I'm not kidding. I literally watched a video where he told his audience to break up with or cheat on a girl that they liked if she shows up 10 minutes late one time.
You're never going to put any girl on a pedestal because you know you can always get a new one. A con to having a main chick is you're now relying on her for box. She's now your only source of box. So in the beginning, when you were dating 2 or 3, 4 girls, you could easily check her. You could easily, drop her. You could easily call out bad behavior. But when you make her your main chick, you stop dating other women. Now she becomes your main source of box. And now you don't really want to mess that up. So now you're not as decisive. You're tolerating bad behavior. It's easier for you now to tolerate bad behavior. It's easier for you now to let some things slide. Oh, you just sweep it under the rug. Oh, she showed up 10 minutes late. You just sweep it under the rug. When you were dating 3, 4, 5 girls, you're not having that. It doesn't matter how good the box is. If she show up late, you could be spending that time with another girl. So you're gonna check her on it. You on your purpose, so you don't have time to waste. You're gonna call her out on it. You're gonna make sure she knows not to waste your time. You're gonna be like, hey baby, look, you're late.
Okay, I'm sorry, I got that wrong. What he actually said was that if you have a girlfriend, you should already be cheating on her, so that if she makes one small mistake, you can replace her with a different girl instantly. I don't see how that's not a very abusive relationship where he is constantly threatening to leave her if she does one wrong thing. And I shit you not, I just watched a podcast where Bismarck says it's wrong when women cheat.
Yeah, I think you also have to just... A lot of guys, I think they immediately get shut down because a girl does one thing that they don't like. And obviously, up front, there are certain red flags that are deal breakers. But I also think every person in the world, myself and yourself included, even the most pure girl included, has red flags. Right? There's no perfect person. Yeah. Obviously, there's some red flags that she cheated on you. I mean, maybe that's not a red flag. Maybe that's just like, this is out. That's out. Yeah. But there are deal breakers like that.
Yeah.
To be clear, Bismarck said that cheating is not simply a red flag, it disqualifies you. I mean, I agree, but this is a very ironic thing for him to say. Now, for context, that video about being 10 minutes late is almost 3 years old, but Bismarck essentially gives Cody the same advice at the end of their conversation, so I don't believe his thoughts have changed.
You guys pedestalize women out of scarcity. Most of men's problems is because we don't have another option. If you had 2 or 3 girls who you found attractive, you wouldn't be dealing with your girlfriend right now. Guarantee you. All you guys who have a girlfriend right now that's treating you like shit, that's not getting you no ass, that's disrespecting you, if you had 2 or 3 other girls, you wouldn't be dealing with her.
I have no idea why anyone would ever consult this guy for advice on a long-term relationship. But the actual reason that Cody is calling is because he's still attached to his ex and he doesn't know how to get over it. Now, because Bismarck fails to give Cody any meaningful advice on this topic, I'm just going to answer this. Breakups suck, and the only real cure for them is time away from the person. First and foremost, once a breakup happens, especially one from a relationship that lasted 4 years, you want to be sure that you have very limited contact with your ex. Preferably don't contact her at all for at least 6 months. After the 6 months, you can decide if you're still going to be friendly or if you're going to keep them permanently removed from your life. It depends on the relationship. But the more you contact her or try to contact her, the more you'll get the flashbacks with the rose-colored glasses of all the good times that you had, and the more you'll feel depressed. Last, for that 6-month period, do whatever you can to distract yourself from thinking about your ex. The best way to do that is by talking to and spending time with your friends and family. Go out and do stuff. Go back to your hobbies. Play some video games. Do some self-improvement. Work on your career. The more time passes, the easier things will get and the better you'll feel. Next is quite possibly the only good piece of advice that Bismarck gives Cody during the whole call.
Listen, you can't let this happen to you again. You do not be with a woman who is not romantically interested in you if that's what you want.
Correct. You shouldn't be with a woman who isn't romantically interested in you. So I agree with what Bismarck said to Cody. However, he almost immediately follows it up with a bad take, and stuff like this is why I don't believe that Bismarck has actually been in a long-term relationship, or at least a healthy long-term relationship.
I've never really had to think about anybody new, and I feel like I would need some sort of connection with someone before we like ever got to like sex or anything like that.
You had a connection with a girl for 4 years who didn't let you fuck. So what are you talking about? Which connection? Connection what?
Well, like I just thought our connection would grow, but I guess I was like wrong.
Bro, there's no way in the world, bro. How many of you guys can connect without getting some ass? Raise your hand if you can connect. Everybody who's watching right now, can you connect with a girl if she ain't fucking you? Because I can't. I don't know how you. I don't know what's connecting we finna do.
What? You're telling guys to not build a connection with someone before you do an act that can result in a pregnancy? Now, he says later that he's not telling Cody to sleep around, but he essentially is saying that sex comes before a relationship, which is kind of the behavior of someone who sleeps around. He also sort of tells Cody at the end to sleep around, so his stance on this whole thing is very confusing. But shouldn't you, like, talk to a girl a bit before having sex? Make sure you at least somewhat get along or have similar values? You know, make sure she's not crazy. How is this not the same degeneracy as feminism? Recommending casual sex and casual sex behaviors as a good thing, and saying that sex should come before there is a connection. Well, I guess that's just the kind of advice that you get from someone who does cringe shit like call himself an alpha male.
I don't really connect if we ain't fucking. I don't even know if I like you.
So I'm at the point where I don't believe he's anti-porn at all. I think he lies about it. He has so many takes that defeat the whole purpose of being against pornography, like the promotion of sexual promiscuity or selling supplement ideas that it looks like he stole from Pornhub. Outside of that, this is like advice for losers and future absent fathers. What do you mean you don't know if you like a girl until you've had sex? Are you just having sex with random strangers and then finding out who they are afterwards? Not only is that stupid, it's gross. Having 100+ sexual partners doesn't make you cool, it makes you a disease vector. Or, you know, he's lying about his experience. I mean, he could be lying because a lot of these high-value alpha male red pillars lie about how successful they are with women.
So what's your body count?
Man, I forgot, bro. I don't even know.
Yeah, that's not a suspicious answer. Did you forget because your number is too high? Or did you forget because your number is actually really low and you're embarrassed to say because your branding is that it's cool to have casual sex? And by saying he's lying, I mean there are so many red flags that this guy has never actually had a serious relationship and probably doesn't have a ton of experience with random women like he says he does. Outside of that, since Bismarck seems to be incapable of giving good advice that would lead to a healthy long-term relationship, let me just finish up with Cody real quick. Like I said earlier, Cody needs to distance himself from his ex and get used to not being around her. Other than that, he needs to list out what the problems with him were in the relationship and work on those so that he's not the exact same person he was with his ex in his next relationship. Just from the call, he should probably get his income up and he should probably spend more time learning how to stand up for himself, or have difficult conversations with people. If you pay attention and you're around other people frequently, you'll find opportunities to do that a lot. Now that we've talked about all that, I have to say that it is very clear that Bismarck's conversational skills, at least when it comes to women, are terrible. For starters, he says weird stuff like this.
If you're seeing your girlfriend more than twice a week, you run the risk of you guys losing the mystery in the relationship. I worry about experiences, not just time spent. When you see her once or twice a week, you give her a good time, you have fun, you guys do fun stuff. So now she's missing that, thinking about you. But if you're seeing her every single day, you can't have those experiences stack up. It's now more focused on time spent, which can get very boring, can ruin the relationship in my opinion, than experiences shared together.
What? This guy talks about having a family and settling down, but if you're so bad at conversational skills that you can't think of something to say if you see your chick more than once or twice a week, then how do you expect to live with a woman or handle raising a family? Not to mention that since Bismarck's content is basically entirely focused on sex, he's telling guys to do all this work and make all that money so they can have sex once a week, maybe twice? This is potentially sex 4 times a month, and that's if you're having sex every time you see each other. Well, I mean, it's potentially 4 times unless he's telling people to cheat and sleep with multiple women at the same time, which is something I know he's said to do in the past. But I'm sure he knows that only a small percentage of guys can get lots of girls because red pillars repeat that idea constantly, which means that for the vast majority of his audience, he's basically not only telling them to rarely have sex while they're on NoFap, but also never develop a close relationship. So for the most part, this guy is supposed to be like the ultimate pickup artist alpha male who sells coaching lessons, yet he's telling you to not have sex with a new partner more than once or twice a week because his conversational skills are so bad that it might spoil the mystery and he won't be able to think of anything interesting to do or talk about. Speaking of lessons on how to talk to women, Bismarck has uploaded some content to show his skill at cold approaching women on the street, so let's see what he's got.
Hey, excuse me. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
How you doing today?
Good.
What's your name?
Cassie.
You look good, Cassie. I want to take you out sometime.
Oh, it's okay. Sorry, I have a boyfriend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
What was that? Was that supposed to be game? Is this how an alpha male picks up women? He didn't even talk to her. He was just like, hi, how you doing? How you doing? Go out with me. He says how you doing twice. But does he not understand how weird it is for a stranger to walk up to you and immediately say, go out with me? Geez, I thought Walter from Fresh and Fit was bad at this. Now surely all the approaches can't be that awful, right?
Hey, excuse me. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
What's your name?
I'm Vale.
Ballet.
Yes.
Where you from?
I'm from here, but I'm Colombian.
Oh, you Colombian? Oh, I think you look nice. I can take you out.
No, thank you.
Okay.
Don't show the black pill guys this one. Chad or Tyrone is getting rejected. I thought if you were attractive, you could say whatever you wanted to a woman, and she would just be all over you in a second. Is it possible that Bismarck, who obviously spent a lot of time on his appearance, I mean, he had quite the glow up, but is it possible that Bismarck is getting rejected here because he's being creepy and not even trying to get to know these strangers before he asks for their phone number? But okay, I found one where he actually says 2 sentences before asking the girl out. Let's see what happens.
Oh, excuse me. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
What's your name?
Sophia.
Sophia. Where you from?
Born in Moscow.
Moscow?
Yes.
What are you doing in Miami?
Just trying to do some stuff.
Trying to do Really?
I'm,
You visiting?
No, I actually live here. I
Oh,
just
really?
Live here, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Holy crap, this has to be the most boring conversation that I've ever watched in a video. Like, this guy is a beginner at cold approaching women. Is this the first time he's done it? I mean, he says this later in the video.
First thing I learned about rejection is...
The title of the video is, I got rejected by 100 baddies in Miami. Well, he only showed like 4 of them, so we have no idea if he actually approached 100 girls for this video, and that's a lot if you filmed it in one day, which is probably the case. But what do you mean you learned about rejection after approaching 100 women? As in, what you learned after you filmed this video? You're supposed to be the expert. You're supposed to be an alpha male. You should already know. You shouldn't be learning. And I mean, for someone who charges people for this advice, approaching 100 girls is not that many. Like, it's nothing. He should be in the thousands of approaches. But obviously, Bismarck hasn't really talked to that many women because all of these conversations have been awful. Now, usually when you talk to a girl or anyone, you want some sort of conversational hook, especially if it's a cold approach. Back in the old days, Pickup artists would have canned lines that were designed to spark a conversation and tease the girl no matter what her answer was. For example, do you floss before or after you brush your teeth? Strangely, that can be a very polarizing conversation starter, but whatever she says, just take the opposite position, you have a flirty argument, and now she's more interested. You don't have to use a canned line, though. You can give an observation that you have about her, or you can comment on something that she's wearing, like a necklace, or something that she's carrying, like a yoga mat, because girls will do that in the city a lot. Use that to start a conversation that's not, "Where are you from?"
Oh, wow. You just moved here?
Kind of. Long story, but...
So right here, Bismarck misses an opportunity to make the conversation more interesting. She says, "It's a long story." When people say things like that, there is typically a lot of energy around it, which is interesting. If he can successfully turn that into a flirty or a deep conversation, not only have they had a fun or impactful moment, but she's also shared a personal story which helps build connection before you get to something more intimate like sex. Now, obviously, because it's personal and you're talking to a stranger, you have to use your own intelligence and experience to gauge whether certain questions are appropriate for the conversation or not, or if you can figure out an appropriate way to talk about something that's more personal. But there were several points where Bismarck could have taken this conversation in a more interesting direction, and he misses every time. Another example is she said earlier that she's from Moscow. An easy thing to say would be, "Moscow, teach me how to say something in Russian." Not to say that a line like this would guarantee success, but if you're good at conversation and you're reasonably comfortable around women, then you'll find areas to press into to make the conversation more interesting. So if he's claiming to have had tons of success with women, how is he so bad at this? These things I'm saying should just be something he naturally does. Anyway, after like a grand total of 30 seconds of talking to this chick, Bismarck tries to close the deal.
I mean, I lived in Fort Lauderdale, now I'm back here again, but...
Okay, how come the move?
Break up.
Break up?
For the best.
Damn.
For the better.
And this might be the stars aligning then.
Oh,
all right?
yeah, for sure.
Really? So what do you do for fun?
I was doing insurance, but I'm kind of like more heading towards the real estate route, so I do that and then modeling, but not only fashion, just modeling.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
like
cool.
Commercial and stuff like that. Yeah.
Where are you heading to now?
I was actually gonna go to the mall.
Okay.
Yeah.
You seem like a cool person.
Yeah.
We should hang out.
I have a boyfriend.
Okay. No worries.
I will point out that girls will just say they have a boyfriend because it's an easy way to reject a guy. I point this out because she said that she just moved to Miami because of a breakup. Now, she could have instantly got with another guy, but considering what she said prior, I think it's likely that she's single. Outside of that, I'm surprised that Bismarck opted to end the conversation prior to finding out that she allegedly had a boyfriend, especially considering that she said she was free and she was just going to walk around the mall. Why didn't he try to go on an instant date with her? When she said she was going for a walk, he could have said, "Hey, I know a great coffee place or an ice cream place or a bar in this mall. Let's go get something." Or, "This mall has the weirdest statue. I gotta show you it." They're both free that day, so why not? Again, pretending that it was the case that she didn't say that she had a boyfriend at the end, if Bismarck wants the best chance of getting a real phone number from her or a text back, then he needs to actually give her some time to get to know him. This is like cold approaching and sales 101. Build rapport with the person that you're trying to influence. All right, that was a few of Bismarck's cold approaches. Now we get to hear his perceptions on why he got rejected.
First thing I learned about rejection is most women reject men that come up to them because he's not already pre-qualified. Now, why is this so important? When I'm walking on the streets or when I'm, anywhere, I get a lot of choosing signals. Girls look at me, right? But they don't necessarily know who I am. A lot of women have had experiences with men being creepy, men being weird, and women, they like social proof. They want you to be socially proven. So rejection a lot of the times, guys, happens because the woman hasn't pre-qualified you.
Pre-qualified? They don't know who you are? What? You didn't do anything to let them get to know you. You just said hi and almost immediately tried to close on every girl. Okay, so this guy is delusional and knows very little about women. Any person who is not in one of the pill spaces can see that they said no because he didn't become more than a random stranger before asking for personal contact information like a phone number. There was no connection, no flirting, no one laughed, nobody's personality was shown, no small moments of interest. He created the driest conversation imaginable. Who would want to go out with a guy like that? That date is going to be super awkward.
This is why you will notice that, like say for instance, I can get a whole lot of matches on dating apps because I have set myself up to look a certain way. You probably getting rejected thinking, hold up, I'm doing this work, I'm looking good. Why are these girls not paying attention to me? Chances are she already has denied you before you came up to her.
The black pillars would love that argument, and I get it now. He only understands the looks aspect, which I will give him. He is very good at that. But this guy has no idea how to talk to women. He certainly knows how to improve his appearance, but I would never pay this guy to teach me social skills because he 100% relies on his appearance to get women. With all that into perspective, to be honest, I learned this next part late into the research process, but Bismarck is 27 years old. His red pill awakening happened at like 21 or 22, at which point he said that he was terrible with women prior. Then a year later, COVID hits and radically shifts dating towards apps because people weren't allowed to go outside. So how would he practice cold approaching? Which means he's basically a beginner at talking to women in person, and he's asking viewers to pay him for advice on it. Also, I found out that he allegedly has been dating a girl long term, and I say allegedly because he has a habit of lying and scamming people, which is common in the red pill space, by the way. And as far as I can see, he's never shown this girl. But allegedly, he's been dating a girl for a few years and he openly cheats on her. I guess she's okay with doing that because she's either a pushover or she's doing it too, and this is not an actual relationship. Wait, if he's working 80 hours a week, approaching random women, and seeing them once or twice a week, how does he have time for this girl that he's been with for a while? Like, he is definitely lying about a number of things. For example, here's a podcast that released one day before the "Work 80 hours a week or you're not a man" video, where Bismarck acknowledges that working crazy long hours is stupid.
Yeah, and also I think as you get more into like business and entrepreneurship, you start to learn more like what a high leverage activity is.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times we need even less hours of work than we think. Meaning that if we just know like these are like the things, but a lot of times I think we just stay busy being busy. You know what I mean? It's like I got so much shit to get done.
So why are you giving your viewers the opposite advice? Also, I've watched him tell people to break up with or ghost women for minor things, which I showed earlier, and because of that, I doubt that he has a lot of patience or conflict resolution skills. So, mysterious girl who's been with him for a while, if you're listening, this is not a relationship that's going to last long enough to raise a family. You really run the risk of becoming a single mother here. And let me just continue this rant because why not? For the sake of his anti-porn grift, Bismarck does this interview here.
Do you still watch porn?
No.
How long has it been?
Maybe about 6 months ago.
How old are you?
57. I've been married for 27 years.
You still need to watch porn even with a wife?
Just to see what's going on in the internet world.
What exactly you need to see? You got your wife. Don't you love your wife?
Of course I do.
Such a strange thing for Bismarck to say because just a few months ago, he was openly bragging about how his alleged long-term girlfriend lets him cheat on her.
I got a girl now. I've been seeing for like a few years.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I care about her. She's solid. But I do tell her that like I on the side I'm gonna do, you know, but it's never gonna be in her face. I'm honest. Like I don't feel like I'm 100% ready to be sexually exclusive with one girl, but I do want to have a partner.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm honest about that. I care about you. I love you. I want you to be in my life. I do want a future with you. I've made this clear.
So you're open to marrying her, for example?
Partner. Maybe not married.
Okay. But like you're open to monogamy in the future.
Yes, and a family.
What fantasy land have you put her in to make her think that you will honestly go from cheating on her for years to not cheating on her? This girl is either not real or she has severe mental health problems if she's willing to put up with this. Anyway, to further prove my point that Bismarck is a beginner at talking to women in person, that last video that we watched was him purposefully showing rejections. But even when he doesn't get rejected, he still is just as bad at conversation. I'm not going to go over all of these. I'll just show the girl that I thought he was most likely to have pulled for a date instead of getting a fake phone number.
My name is Bismarck. What's your name?
My name is Susie.
Susie? Where are you from?
Nice to meet you. Well, I'm from Utah. I'm just visiting.
Utah? What brought you to Miami?
Just visiting. I needed some time off, you know. I had lots of stress. So.
A lot of stress. So Miami's a place of de-stress?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Oh, yeah? How long are you here for?
It was about 4 days more.
This is so boring. I keep having to cut things short because I'm afraid people will click off my video. Hi, where are you from? Is that an interesting conversation to you? Why not just talk about the weather or some other lame small talk? Here's a better entry. She's holding ice cream, so like I said, you can comment on an item that she has on her. What I might say is, oh my God, I'm so hungry. Where did you get that ice cream? Now you're talking about food, and food is naturally entertaining to people. You can even throw in one of those canned openers like, do you think pineapple belongs on pizza? The answer to this is obvious. Pineapple is disgusting on pizza, but whatever she says, you can take the opposite position on purpose and turn that into a flirty argument. Or you can agree with what she says and make fun of all the people who say that pineapple should be on pizza, who are wrong. You know what the great thing about asking her where she got that ice cream is? It doesn't require you to ask a chick that you just met where she lives, which is a piece of information that she might not be willing to tell a random stranger right away. Moving on, Bismarck misses like 10 different opportunities to spice up the conversation. Here was the most obvious one.
So what have you done that was exciting this time?
Well, like I said, I don't really have any crazy plans. I'm just trying to relax and think. So
You relax and think from Utah? That's crazy.
So here she's informing him that she's free and doesn't have much to do. As a resident of Miami, you would think that Bismarck would have said something like, you don't have any good plans? I know a place. You have to see it. Now, in my understanding of the timeline, Bismarck had just moved to Miami a few months prior, so he might have an excuse for not knowing what's good. However, he touts himself as a guy who is good enough socially to charge money for it, and I gotta say, I'm not a super social person, but like a month after I moved to Texas, I could have told her an interesting place to go. Not to mention that Bismarck had already visited Miami before to hang out with other creators, so he could have easily just told her, I know a place that you would love, but it's a surprise. I'll tell you later. And then just not tell her what it is until his friends tell him where to go. This is not very complicated. It doesn't even have to be that great of a spot if you're good at conversation. Now, the rest of his video is about another minute of boring conversation, so I'm just going to skip to the end.
So what are you doing later today?
Nothing, just probably gonna go out and eat somewhere.
By yourself?
Yeah,
That's a pretty boring life. Wow. Okay. I won't keep it too long. I gotta get going. But Susie, right? Okay, we should hang out.
I'm down.
Yeah?
Guess I'm in town 4 more days. Don't got a lot going on, so.
Okay. I'm gonna get your number.
Okay.
Cool. I'm gonna shoot you a text.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Well,
Thank
see
you.
around. It was nice meeting you.
All right. Bye.
Yet another opportunity to go on an instant date. She just told you that she's not really doing anything. You're doing nothing either. Go on a date. Now, understandably, he's filming approaches for a video. He probably is just trying to rack them up for content. However, if he rizzed this girl up and pulled her for a date right then and there, that's a video, just one approach. It would probably also get vastly more views and make you look very good in front of your audience. Cold approach videos used to get millions of views on YouTube, but they don't seem to anymore because all of these red pill guys suck at it. The whole point of the instant date is to take a girl multiple places so that the time that you have spent with her seems more dynamic and interesting, which will make her more likely to respond to a phone call or a text. Even something as small as walking to a different part of the room you're in with the person that you're talking to will get this trick to work. This is actually a universal technique and one of the primary ways that I get views on YouTube. I'm always taking the audience multiple places and shifting topics so that the videos appear more interesting. It's why I rarely react to a singular video, and if I do, I will typically throw in some sort of B story or small diversion to make my content seem less linear. So the instant date is a great way to build interest, or you get to instantly find out that you aren't a good match instead of having to wait a day or several days. But I don't know, maybe we just caught Bismarck at his worst. Maybe he's nervous because he's cold approaching and he's not used to it. How about we see him in a warmer setting? In this video, he's going to teach us how to keep a conversation going with an attractive girl in his apartment or wherever.
So how you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm awesome. Fine, nice to meet you.
Absolutely. Ina. Yes.
Okay. So where are you from?
Ukraine.
Ukraine?
Yes.
So what brought you to Miami?
Beautiful life over here. Sunny, weather, people, and anyway, in the States. So everyone wants to live in Miami. So it's like luxury lifestyle, active like sport life, you know.
Bro, come on. This is so awkward and boring. I'm trying to keep my audience from falling asleep here. This guy talks like an NPC with fixed dialogue and gives the same job interview questions to every woman. But not only that, she starts the conversation by telling you that she's a gold digger who came to Miami for a luxury lifestyle. You thought it was a smart idea to post this for your audience, especially considering that I just watched you make fun of a guy who you said got finessed?
How long have you been here?
2 years.
2 years?
Yes.
I just got here a year ago.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I was born in Nigeria,
Okay.
but I grew up in Louisiana,
Okay.
and I was traveling the last few years.
Right. Him coming from Nigeria makes sense considering his content. Does he know any princes?
Where have you been? Have you been to Colombia?
No, I haven't been in Colombia. I travel a lot. So I've been in Dubai, I've been in China, I've been in UK, I've been all like France,
What?
Italy. Yeah, I traveled really a lot. So I danced before, as in,
Okay.
like it was like a sport dance.
Sport dance.
Yeah, so we we travel a lot.
So she's a traveling dancer who's been to Dubai, which is like the gold digger capital of the world. Outside of that, you can see she looks incredibly bored here. I honestly don't think that Bismarck makes her laugh once during this conversation or caused her to have a deep thought, as in things that would help build a connection. Sure, she laughs at things that she said herself, but genuine laughter was not caused by Bismarck. In fact, even worse, the body language is terrible here. Her legs are crossed away from him, and she's leaning back into the couch away from him as well, signifying that she's not comfortable around him. Meanwhile, our alpha male teacher, who constantly talks about how he is so popular that there is no way that he would be needy for any one woman, is leaning into a girl who is leaning away from him and sort of doing this hover hand thing with the couch. Even worse, he chooses this image for the thumbnail, which makes him look even more like a needy beta male. Here, Bismarck, let me help you by picking a different frame. Use this for the thumbnail instead. But anyone who believes that he gets lots of girls is not good with women. Even if he did solely rely on his appearance, if he was getting lots of girls, he wouldn't be this dry conversationally because of all the free practice. There is zero sexual tension in this conversation. At no point does he try to initiate some sort of touch contact with her, and there is nothing to indicate that this girl likes him. If he was actually good with women, all of this stuff would have been obvious, and there's no way he would have posted a video that makes him look this bad. For comparison, allow me to show you how girls react when a guy is actually an air quote high-value man who women want.
Ask me a question.
Okay. Do I look at the camera?
Whatever you want to do.
How many tattoos do you have now?
I think there's too many to count at this point. So I just kind of consider one on this arm now because it's connected.
Can I feel
But
it?
You can feel it, yeah.
Oh my god.
It just feels like skin.
I know. I feel my skin.
Now, obviously, this is going to be more of an extreme example because Justin is a celebrity, but see how this girl is excited and immediately went to touch his hand, followed by her trying to have more touch contact by rubbing her arm against his. Women will find excuses to touch you when they like you, and as someone who probably has experienced this a lot, you can see that Justin remains unfazed as this chick is very forward, suggesting that unlike Bismarck, he actually has lots of experience with women. Not only that, but he actually knows how to flirt.
Hey guys, I'm here with Justin Bieber and I can't talk.
What was that just happened? Was that your voice?
Yeah, I can't talk. I literally lost my
She
voice.
can't talk. That was your real voice.
Oh my god.
You trying to kiss me?
Yeah.
You do the kissing.
He's teasing her, he's playful, he keeps the sexual boundaries more appropriate for someone he just met when she tried to kiss him. This is game. Game is not whatever the hell this is.
Gotcha. So,
Yeah.
so Dubai was a lot
Yeah,
more easygoing.
it was easier, and men is there more.
Men
they
are
treat-
what?
yeah, men they treat you way better than in
They said the
States.
men treat you better in Dubai?
Yeah, there, yes.
Oh, so what do they do? They spoil you more?
Yeah, they spoil you
That's
more.
Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, that was like they're more, like to take care of their goals, and plus their woman is a woman, so.
Gotcha.
Again, literally telling you that she's a gold digger. I'm surprised that she didn't let the term princess treatment slip. Here's the funny part. After several minutes of Bismarck failing to riz this girl, she runs game on him.
You say you like to work out too?
Yeah.
Or do you go like Pilates?
No, just work out.
You go to the gym?
Yeah, just work out.
What kind of gym do you go to? What are you doing in the gym?
Guess
I don't know.
which one?
This is like the reverse of a cold approaching technique where a girl asks you something about yourself, like how old are you, and you say, guess. It's a very easy way to be playful and fun, and you can see that Bismarck's body language changes here, and he is the one who is more interested, as he, the alpha male, has the girl lead the conversation.
Guess which one?
Do which one?
Where are you going?
Me?
Yeah.
Equinox. You go to my gym?
Yeah. Yes.
What?
Yes.
And so is that where I saw you before?
Probably yes.
Bro, you are the target. That chick said she was like a hostess at a restaurant and maybe sells makeup, yet she can afford Equinox? Well, technically most people can afford Equinox, but it's going to be hard to convince them to pay $200 a month for a gym when they can go to Planet Fitness for $10. The reason she goes to Equinox is probably to meet rich guys because that's where those guys are. Does he not watch She-Ra? Like, there is a reason why she remembers you, but you don't remember her. It's because you're a target. Anyway, the rest of the conversation is really boring, so let's just skip to the end.
Let's check out the balcony.
Yep.
Come. In this point, guys, I will have the girl right behind me. And then, you know, as she gets more and more comfortable and relaxed, I'll tell her to give me a kiss on my neck.
Now he's showing a website where you can pay $12 to $20 a month for this grade A advice. Who would pay this guy to teach them game? Actually, judging by this page where you can see that nobody has reviewed the product, it looks like people aren't buying this course, and he wasn't smart enough to have his friends write fake reviews. And I guess this is different from the private coaching service that he sells, to which is such a scam that I couldn't even find out what the price was. I had to give them all sorts of personal information, and they legit would not tell me how much this coaching service costs until they get me into a sales call, so you know it's expensive and not worth it. He sells his coaching service like it's a bad timeshare. Not only that, but before the sales call, Bismarck has you watch a several-minute video that basically says, seriously, you should pay me a ridiculous amount of money for this course that I will only tell you the price of after you put a significant time investment into it, so you'll be far less likely to say no when I price gouge you. Now, the funny thing about all this is that this chick that he used in the prior video is almost certainly paid to be interested in him, and he still screws up the conversation. Here she is in a different video helping him sell the course.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
How was it?
I didn't go on a date.
No?
No, I came to see you instead.
Wow. Hey, this is why the girl didn't show up for the date. She came to see me. If you're a guy that's tired of being flaked on, you're tired of setting dates with women, and it doesn't go anywhere, I got a free ebook for you called Flake Proof Formula.
And that's not the only video that he's used her for. Here's another Instagram video where he paid her to tell his followers that they need to waste their money on his penis enlargement scam. Then you have this moment in the comments where Bismarck upvotes someone calling her a prostitute. So not only will this guy scam his followers, but he's not even loyal to his own employees. But more importantly, I'm sick of all the alpha male, masculinity, relationship advice. There's like a million of these channels and podcasts out there now. The advice is trash for people who actually want to develop stable, long-term relationships, and at least 90% of these channels and podcasts are just scamming and taking advantage of weak men and porn addicts to sell them supplements or some bullshit overpriced coaching session that will not actually help them.
There's not that many role models who aren't either A, liars, B, pieces of shit behind the camera, or C, so inconsistent and hypocritical that it makes it impossible for you to really consider what they're saying for longer than a few months at a time.
And by not helping the guys who watch them, I mean that the manosphere alpha male types are literally the most undateable people that quite often describe themselves as abusive and or controlling partners in their personal relationships. Most importantly, none of their rhetoric focuses on what people are actually looking for, which is developing a connection with somebody. Sex is cool and all, but it's not the only thing in a relationship, despite people like Bismarck behaving as if it is.
You spent 4 years with this girl who didn't even let you smash, and she left you for some bullshit. You got nothing out of this. You didn't even improve your sex game. You got nothing. You didn't even get no experience.
Again, seriously, why would anyone listen to this guy for long-term relationship advice? Obviously, Cody was getting something out of that relationship, which is why he wanted her back. But the thing people are primarily looking for when it comes to happiness is connection. Sex is great, having lots of money is great too, but these things will not truly make you happy. Having a life purpose and having good relationships is what actually makes people happy. And I mean that these things are so important that you will become mentally ill if you don't have them, and how you fix quite a lot of mental illness is by finding life purpose and by fostering good relationships. It's a core piece of addiction treatment, by the way. And all this is why I say that the things that the Manosphere creators are teaching are going to result in people being less happy, because all those creators do is teach a bunch of antisocial behaviors. So if you're having trouble in life, these are the areas that you need to work on. Find a purpose and go outside and find some good relationships. Anyway, thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video.